Men, there are some exercises in the gym which are just completely wasting your time. They barely train any of the muscles in which you think they do. They create way too much fatigue, affecting your future training sessions, and they don't really do much of anything. Now, I have created this video where I'm going to go through 5 of the worst exercises in the gym, and not only are they terrible, they are very poorly performed. If that sounds something that you will find interesting and useful, then stick around. This video will take about 13 minutes. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Paul Green. I am a former British paratrooper and Special Forces Support Group operator. Most of my time in the past decade has been training those gentlemen in these elite units when I worked in the gym. So I've been fortunate enough to work in a very elite bubble of performance, and I have seen a lot of high level people, a lot of people that are injured, a lot of people that are out of shape. I've seen a mixed bag of performance. So that unique perspective I bring to the party here on YouTube. But now I am fully online with the longevity program, in which I train men over the age of 40 from various different extreme sporting backgrounds, adventure sporting backgrounds, people that kayak, people that free run, people that skydive, people that are in martial arts, people that are stuck in their ways and they believe that their joints are stuck at a certain standard. That's why I created the longevity program, to give yous hope. But not only do that, give yous an absolute boost of your performance well into the later years of your life. That's the longevity program. That's me. Let's get into this video. The first exercise on my list, and these exercises I hope to fucking piss yous right off. It's the conventional barbell deadlift. It is a terrible exercise. And when I mean conventional, I mean the standard barbell deadlift in which you probably first learned in the gym. It's a terrible exercise. Video. Shout out to RP, absolutely fantastic channel. And I'm not criticizing the technique in which these gentlemen are doing on these videos. However, I'm going to criticize the choice of doing this exercise in your program. What is the deadlift actually achieving here? What are we doing? Is it working the joints at a full range of motion? What muscles are we working, if any? Are we working them muscles effectively? Is there better exercises in which we can do? You can see we do not have full knee flexion, so we don't strengthen our knees fully. We have a straight spine, a lot of pressure on the lower back, a lot of stress on the forearms. When you do a deadlift, what is the first muscle to fatigue? Is it your forearms? Are you training your forearms? Are you doing deadlifts because it's a forearm exercise? Why are you doing deadlifts? It is a terrible exercise. They are far better options which strengthen your joints to a better standard. It doesn't really do much of anything. A term that I will use a lot in this video is jack of all trades, master of none. This exercise is bang average, and the onset fatigue on your central nervous system from doing deadlifts is extremely high. It's a terrible exercise when you think about bang versus buck. That is, unless you are a powerlifter. Get rid of this exercise. It's an absolutely terrible option. You're wasting your time. Don't need to talk about that too much. And the amount of times people tweak their low back, how many times have you tweaked your low back doing a deadlift? And I'm not saying that's an issue. That's the issue. I'm just saying it's a terrible exercise, very commonly poorly executed, And it doesn't actually improve your performance in anything other than the deadlift. It's friggin' terrible, gentlemen. The next exercise. Barbell bench press. For those of you international chest days amongst this channel, amongst the subscribers, barbell bench press, horrendous exercise. Barbell bench press. The reason I fucking hate this exercise is it leans people to having wide elbows. Wide elbow pressing is one of the most ineffective ways to do a press ever, right? And again, shout out to Pure Gym, a lot of good technique on their channel. The bench press, people typically have their elbows under the bar. This puts a lot of stress on the front delts and it doesn't really work the chest very well at all. The goal of the working the pecs, working the chest, your idea is to get the humerus bone, get the upper arm as close to your sternum as possible. You can't really do that with a bench press. The only thing the bench press is good for is at the bottom position. Right, at the bottom position, you've got a stretch into the chest here, and then that's it. But the typical thing is people press with their elbows really wide, i.e. their elbows underneath the bar, making it a terrible pressing option. Is there better options out there? Is there an option in which you can train your chest at a full range of motion and actually get a balanced resistance throughout more of that motion? Dumbbells. Done. Dumbbell flies. Horrific. Honestly. So bad. Does absolutely nothing for the strength of your chest up until about this part here. This part here, and then that part there. That is the only benefit you're getting on this exercise. Everything else is completely wasted. A lot of stress on the shoulders, a lot of stress on the chest, which is good in the lengthened position. However, there is just not enough resistance in this movement for it to be, for it to be chosen one of your sacred exercises as part of your program. Get rid of it. It's absolutely terrible. Look, the bottom position is great. Now the exercise from this point onwards is terrible because you're not getting any resistance. Easy. This is easy. This is easy. Now it starts getting hard. This is hard. Now it's easy again. Terrible. Probably about 30% of the range of motion is actually difficult. You're not strengthening your chest in the shortened position. Barbell bent over rows. Similar to the deadlift, right? Similar rationale to the deadlift. What muscle is fatiguing first when you do barbell bent over rows? It's your forearms. What are you doing to alleviate that? And another common problem that people do with their barbell bent over rows is they pull to their sternum here, like she's doing. Now, OPEX is a really good programming business. They speak a lot of sense, but they could have just taught her how to do a bent over row properly. This is not effectively training the lats. And you're basically isometrically training the hamstrings and glutes and the lower back for an exercise that what you want to prioritize your lats. That fatigues the forearms before everything else. What the hell is this exercise? It's an absolute joke. Shouldn't be doing it. Seriously, lads, honestly. Next one, barbell back squats. And I'll go straight into a video of this Pure Gym lady smashing out some squats. She explains a bit first. She lifts it up. It looks like she's brought feet in a little bit. I'm not here to criticise her technique. I'm criticising the selection of this exercise. Right, fucking hell, get on with it, man. Right, So, you know, it was pretty hard to find a normal squat, right, on YouTube when everybody's got perfect technique. But this chick, she's going to 90 degrees, which is common for men over the age of 40. They will do this and they will go to about 90 degrees at the knees, right? Also, limitations in hip flexor flexibility will bring their back forwards like this, exposing the lower back a little bit more. If you want to expose your lower back, by all means expose your lower back, but pick an exercise which does that and does it really well. Fuck this jack of all trades shite. Are you strengthening the knees when you're doing this exercise? Are you getting full range of motion at the knee joint? Are you actually getting stronger knees when you do this? Not really. You're actually missing out on 90 degrees of range of motion. You're missing out on a lot, honestly. And what are you getting for that? You're getting a little bit stronger quads. You're not working all of your quads. 4 muscles in the quad, obviously. You're not getting strength. You're not strengthening them all because you're not working the knee joint through its full range of motion. So what are you actually getting? And that's the question. Terrible exercise. There's better options out there. For example, heels elevated back squat, where you can go all the way down, get full strengthening in the knee joint. It doesn't force your back forward. It can stay more upright. That means you can load the weight way better than be stuck into a half squat. Half squat, half the benefit. If you haven't got the flexibility to get into these positions, then change the exercise into something in which allows you full range of motion. I do not care with lads on the longevity program that are very immobile or they don't have the strength at the end ranges. I will literally get them grabbing hold of the squat rack to go all the way down. Right, okay, now we can start to build this as a foundation. You can do it with one arm on the squat rack and there's your bodyweight reps, and then it'll be with a dumbbell. There's your dumbbell reps, and then it'll be heels elevated, something like that. This misconception that you have to do these basic exercises like the deadlift, the bench press, and the back squat, when most people are doing them terribly because of decades of neglect, it's wrong, lads. It's absolutely wrong, right? So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to open this full screen, and I'm going to start wrapping up. Final thoughts, gentlemen. Ask yourself, what is this exercise doing? What benefit is this serving me? What specifically is this exercise training? If it's not training anything specifically and you can't really justify it, that's an absolutely terrible exercise. Have more pride. Honestly, have more pride. It's your body. You should be literally choosing exercises which are serving your muscles and joints extremely well. This is terrible. Oh, doing an exercise that does a little bit of that, fuck off. Honestly, why don't you just want to do a really good exercise that really targets a certain muscle and joint extremely well? This is why. Your joints deserve better. If you can't go all the way down, you're not stuck and bound by a limitation in flexibility. You're stuck by a limitation in mentality. You could by all means strip the weight off the bar, put your heels elevated, or do it on a Smith machine and go all the way down. Not very good for the ego. However, it's fucking fantastic for the muscles and the joints. Most exercises in the gym, not all of them, most exercises in the gym should have full range of motion. If they don't have full range of motion, you are not going to get stronger joints. You're not going to get rid of joint pain. You're not going to improve your joint resilience. You are not going to benefit yourself 10 years down the line. And with everything, earn the right to progress. Men, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully a bit of a wake-up call for you and your training sessions. As I just want to make sure that you are in the gym, doing the most productive shit, and then out the gym back to your families.